After the age of 60, many people begin to notice changes in their legs that feel sudden but are actually the result of slow, cumulative processes inside the body. Walking becomes more tiring, balance feels less reliable, stairs feel heavier, and muscles that once responded easily now seem reluctant. This decline is often blamed entirely on aging, but that explanation is incomplete and misleading. The real drivers behind weakening legs are chronic inflammation, reduced circulation, oxidative stress, and gradual muscle breakdown, all of which can be influenced by daily habits. Targeted herbal teas address these root causes directly, making them a practical and accessible tool for rebuilding leg strength and restoring mobility in older adults. As the body ages, muscle tissue becomes more sensitive to inflammation. Low-level, persistent inflammation interferes with the ability of muscles to repair themselves after normal use, leading to soreness, stiffness, and weakness even after light activity. Over time, this inflammation accelerates muscle loss and reduces power in the legs, which are already under constant demand for standing, walking, and balance. Certain herbal teas contain bioactive compounds that naturally calm inflammatory pathways without stressing the digestive system or requiring pharmaceutical intervention. When inflammation is reduced consistently, muscles are able to respond to movement again instead of remaining in a constant state of irritation. Circulation is another major factor that determines whether leg muscles stay strong or gradually fade. Muscles rely on a steady flow of oxygen-rich blood to function and recover. With age, blood vessels may become less flexible, and circulation to the lower body can slow, leaving muscles undernourished and fatigued. This is why legs may feel heavy or unresponsive, especially after sitting or standing for long periods. Teas made from roots and leaves known to support vascular health can gently enhance blood flow, improving the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to leg muscles. Over time, better circulation helps muscles rebuild rather than deteriorate. Oxidative stress also plays a quiet but powerful role in muscle aging. Free radicals generated through normal metabolism accumulate more quickly as the body's natural antioxidant defenses weaken with age. These free radicals damage muscle cells and interfere with the signals that tell muscles when to contract and relax. Antioxidant-rich teas help neutralize this damage, protecting muscle fibers and supporting cellular repair. This protection is especially important for the legs, where muscle endurance and coordination are essential for safe movement and balance. Muscle loss in older adults is not simply a matter of inactivity. Even individuals who remain moderately active can experience sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength associated with aging. One reason is that aging muscles become less efficient at using nutrients and oxygen. Certain plant compounds found in specific teas improve how muscles utilize these resources, allowing them to produce more force with less effort. This means everyday activities like walking, standing up, or climbing stairs place less strain on the body, reducing fatigue and the risk of falls. Another overlooked contributor to leg weakness is hormonal imbalance and stress-related muscle breakdown. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, which promotes muscle loss and slows recovery. Older adults often experience higher baseline stress due to sleep changes, health concerns, or lifestyle shifts. Herbal teas with adaptogenic properties help regulate the stress response, signaling the body to move out of survival mode and into repair mode. When stress hormones are better controlled, muscles are more receptive to rebuilding and strengthening. What makes herbal teas particularly effective is their cumulative effect. Unlike supplements taken sporadically or exercises attempted inconsistently, tea drinking is easy to repeat daily without resistance. This consistency allows beneficial compounds to build up in the body gradually, creating an internal environment that favors muscle preservation and growth. Over weeks and months, this steady support can translate into noticeable improvements in leg strength, endurance, and stability. Another advantage is accessibility. Many older adults avoid strength training or intense exercise due to joint pain, fear of injury, or lack of confidence. Herbal teas provide a low-effort starting point that supports the body internally, often making movement feel easier and more appealing over time. As muscles become less inflamed and better fueled, people naturally feel more capable of gentle walking or light activity, which further reinforces muscle strength in a positive feedback loop. Scientific observations from populations with long-standing tea-drinking traditions offer real-world evidence of these benefits. Communities that regularly consume certain teas show better preservation of mobility and muscle function into later decades of life. These outcomes are not the result of a single compound or magic ingredient, but of consistent exposure to anti-inflammatory, circulation-enhancing, and antioxidant substances that support the body's natural repair systems. Rebuilding leg strength after 60 does not require extreme measures or aggressive interventions. It requires creating conditions in which muscles are allowed to heal, receive nourishment, and respond properly to daily use. Targeted herbal teas do exactly that by addressing the internal obstacles that prevent muscles from functioning at their best. When inflammation is calmed, blood flow improves, oxidative damage is reduced, and stress is regulated, leg muscles regain their ability to support the body effectively, making walking steadier, movement more confident, and daily life less restricted by weakness and fatigue. For many adults over 60, leg weakness is not caused by a lack of effort or motivation, but by ongoing inflammation and declining circulation that quietly undermine muscle function. Even small amounts of chronic inflammation can have a powerful effect on the muscles and joints of the lower body, where the demand for stability and strength is constant. Inflammation causes tissues to swell, stiffen, and become painful, which discourages movement and interrupts the normal repair cycle muscles depend on to stay strong. Over time, this creates a downward spiral in which discomfort leads to less movement leads to weaker muscles, and weaker muscles increase the risk of imbalance and falls. Inflammation often develops as a natural response to years of wear and tear, previous injuries, metabolic changes, or underlying health conditions. In older adults, the body's ability to shut off inflammatory responses becomes less efficient, meaning muscles and joints may remain inflamed long after activity has ended. This lingering inflammation interferes with muscle contraction and reduces coordination, making walking feel unstable or tiring. When leg muscles are constantly irritated, they cannot generate the power needed for confident steps or quick adjustments to maintain balance. Circulation works hand in hand with inflammation. Blood flow delivers oxygen, glucose, amino acids, and micronutrients that muscles require to function and repair themselves. With age, blood vessels can lose elasticity, and circulation to the lower extremities may slow, particularly after long periods of sitting or inactivity. Reduced circulation means muscles are starved of oxygen and nutrients at the very moment they need them most, leading to fatigue, cramping, and a heavy sensation in the legs. Poor blood flow also slows the removal of metabolic waste products, which further irritates muscle tissue and prolongs soreness. When inflammation and poor circulation occur together, their effects compound. Inflamed tissues compress blood vessels, further restricting circulation, while reduced circulation allows inflammatory compounds to linger in muscle tissue longer than they should. This cycle is one of the primary reasons older adults may feel stiffness upon standing, shakiness when walking, or pain after minimal exertion. Addressing one without the other often brings limited relief, which is why strategies that target both simultaneously are so important for restoring leg strength and comfort. Reducing inflammation allows muscles and joints to relax and move freely again. When swelling subsides, nerve signals travel more efficiently between the brain and muscles, improving coordination and reaction time. This is critical for balance, as the legs must constantly adjust to uneven surfaces, changes in direction, and shifts in body weight. When inflammation is kept in check, muscles respond faster and more precisely, making movement feel smoother and more controlled. Improved circulation enhances these benefits by ensuring muscles receive what they need to stay strong. Increased blood flow delivers oxygen that fuels muscle contractions and supports endurance. It also brings amino acids and other building blocks required for muscle repair, allowing small daily stresses to strengthen muscles rather than break them down. Over time, better circulation helps reverse the sense of heaviness in the legs and replaces it with a feeling of lightness and readiness to move. The psychological impact of reduced inflammation and improved circulation should not be underestimated. Pain and discomfort often create fear around movement, leading people to avoid walking or standing for long periods. When inflammation decreases and circulation improves, movement becomes more comfortable, which builds confidence. This renewed confidence encourages more frequent and natural use of the legs, reinforcing muscle strength and joint stability through everyday activity rather than forced exercise routines. Consistent anti-inflammatory support also protects joints that play a critical role in leg function, such as the knees, hips, and ankles. When joints are inflamed, surrounding muscles must compensate, often working harder in inefficient ways that lead to fatigue and imbalance. Reducing joint inflammation allows muscles to function in proper alignment, improving efficiency and reducing unnecessary strain. This alignment is essential for maintaining proper posture and reducing the risk of falls. Better circulation also supports nerve health, which is essential for strong and steady legs. Nerves rely on a healthy blood supply to transmit signals accurately. When circulation is compromised, nerve signaling may slow or become erratic, contributing to numbness, tingling, or delayed muscle response. Improved blood flow helps maintain the integrity of these neuromuscular connections, ensuring muscles receive clear instructions to contract, relax, and stabilize the body as needed. Over time, the combined effect of reduced inflammation and enhanced circulation creates an internal environment where muscles can thrive rather than merely survive. Instead of constantly repairing damage, muscles are able to adapt and grow stronger in response to daily movement. This shift transforms routine activities like walking, standing up from a chair, or climbing stairs from exhausting tasks into manageable, even enjoyable, actions. The foundation of stronger, pain-free legs is not aggressive training or pushing through discomfort. It is restoring balance within the body so muscles receive adequate blood flow and are no longer trapped in a state of chronic inflammation. When these two factors are addressed together, the legs regain their ability to support the body efficiently, maintain stability, and move with confidence, allowing older adults to remain active and independent without constant pain or fear of weakness. As people grow older, fatigue often feels different than it did earlier in life. It is not simply the result of a busy day or poor sleep, but a deeper, more persistent lack of energy that affects both the body and the mind. Many adults over 60 try to compensate by reaching for stimulants such as coffee or energy drinks, only to experience brief alertness followed by crashes, jitteriness, or disrupted sleep. This cycle creates more stress on the body and ultimately worsens fatigue. Sustainable energy and stamina come from helping the body adapt to stress and function efficiently, not from forcing temporary stimulation. Physical energy is closely tied to how well the body manages stress. Aging itself places constant stress on muscles, joints, and the nervous system. Add emotional strain, poor sleep, or health concerns, and the body may remain locked in a heightened stress response. When this happens, stress hormones like cortisol remain elevated, which interferes with muscle repair, drains energy reserves, and accelerates muscle breakdown. Instead of rebuilding strength, the body focuses on survival. Adaptogenic support helps shift the body out of this state, allowing energy to be produced and used more effectively. Muscles rely on efficient oxygen use to sustain activity without rapid fatigue. In older adults, the ability of muscles to extract and utilize oxygen can decline, making even simple movements feel exhausting. Rather than stimulating the nervous system, adaptogenic and supportive compounds improve the body's internal efficiency. When muscles learn to use oxygen more effectively, endurance improves naturally. Walking longer distances, climbing stairs, or standing for extended periods becomes less taxing, not because of artificial stimulation, but because the muscles are working smarter. Mental energy plays a critical role in physical stamina. Persistent fatigue often leads to mental sluggishness, reduced motivation, and a sense of heaviness that discourages movement. Stimulants may temporarily sharpen focus, but they often increase anxiety and tension, which further exhausts the nervous system. Sustainable energy arises when the nervous system is both alert and calm. When mental clarity improves without agitation, the desire to move increases, and movement becomes less of a chore and more of a natural expression of vitality. Stress adaptation also supports hormonal balance, which is essential for maintaining muscle strength and energy levels. Hormones that regulate metabolism, muscle repair, and recovery become more sensitive to stress with age. When stress is unmanaged, these hormonal systems fall out of balance, leading to fatigue, weakness, and slower recovery after activity. Supporting the body's ability to adapt to stress helps stabilize these hormones, creating a more favorable environment for consistent energy throughout the day. Another key factor in sustainable stamina is the avoidance of energy spikes and crashes. Sudden bursts of stimulation can disrupt sleep patterns, elevate heart rate, and place additional strain on the cardiovascular system. Poor sleep then compounds fatigue the following day, creating a cycle that is difficult to break. Energy that builds gradually and remains steady supports better sleep quality, which in turn enhances muscle recovery and daytime endurance. This steady rhythm is especially important for older adults, whose recovery systems require more time and consistency. Adaptogenic support also influences inflammation levels, which directly affect energy. Chronic inflammation acts like a constant drain on the body's resources, forcing the immune system to remain active and diverting energy away from muscles and the brain. By helping regulate inflammatory responses, Sustainable energy strategies free up resources that can be used for movement, strength, and mental focus. As inflammation subsides, energy feels more accessible and reliable rather than forced. Stamina is not solely about physical output, it is also about resilience. Resilient muscles and nerves recover more quickly from daily demands, allowing energy to be maintained across the day instead of depleted by midday. Stress-adaptive approaches enhance this resilience by improving how the body responds to both physical and emotional challenges. Over time, this resilience translates into a greater capacity to stay active without feeling drained or overwhelmed. The psychological benefits of sustainable energy are equally important. When energy feels dependable, confidence grows. People are more likely to engage in light exercise, social activities, and daily tasks without fear of sudden exhaustion. This increased engagement further strengthens muscles and reinforces positive energy patterns. Movement becomes a source of energy rather than a cause of fatigue, creating a self-sustaining cycle of vitality. True stamina is the result of harmony between the nervous system, muscles, and metabolic processes. It cannot be forced through stimulation alone. By supporting the body's ability to adapt to stress, use oxygen efficiently, and maintain calm alertness, sustainable energy emerges naturally. This form of energy supports not only stronger legs and better endurance, but also a clearer mind, improved mood, and a greater sense of control over one's physical capabilities, allowing older adults to move through their days with steadiness and confidence rather than reliance on short-lived stimulants. Regaining strength, balance, and confidence after the age of 60 rarely comes from dramatic changes or extreme interventions. It is the result of small, repeatable habits that gently support the body every day. Consistency is what allows the body to respond, adapt, and improve. When simple actions are practiced daily, they create stability inside the body that makes long-term progress possible. Rather than overwhelming the system, these habits work quietly in the background, restoring function and resilience over time. The body responds best to regular signals. Muscles, nerves, and joints adapt not to intensity alone, but to frequency and predictability. When supportive habits are repeated each day, the body begins to expect them and adjusts accordingly. This is especially important for older adults, whose recovery systems benefit from steady input rather than sudden stress. 1 cup of a supportive tea taken daily, combined with gentle movement, sends a clear message to the body that it is safe to rebuild rather than conserve energy. Daily habits help regulate the nervous system, which plays a central role in balance and coordination. When routines are consistent, the nervous system becomes calmer and more efficient. This calm efficiency improves communication between the brain and muscles, allowing the legs to respond more quickly and accurately to changes in position or terrain. Over time, this improved signaling enhances stability, reducing the risk of missteps or falls and making movement feel more secure. Gentle movement is a critical partner to consistency. Movement does not need to be intense to be effective. Simple actions such as walking, light stretching, or standing exercises stimulate blood flow, activate muscles, and reinforce neuromuscular connections. When these movements are paired with daily internal support, muscles recover more effectively and gradually become stronger. The key is regular engagement rather than occasional effort. Small amounts of movement performed consistently produce greater long-term benefits than sporadic bursts of activity. Recovery is where strength is truly built, and consistent habits create the conditions for proper recovery. Muscles repair themselves during rest, particularly during sleep. When daily routines support relaxation and stress reduction, sleep quality improves. Better sleep allows the body to allocate resources toward muscle repair and nervous system restoration. Over time, this leads to noticeable improvements in how the legs feel in the morning and how they perform throughout the day. Consistency also reinforces hormonal balance, which is essential for maintaining muscle tone and energy. Hormones respond to rhythm. When meals, movement, rest, and supportive practices follow a regular pattern, hormonal signals become more stable. This stability reduces muscle breakdown and supports steady energy levels. As hormones align, the body becomes more efficient at maintaining strength and balance without excessive effort. The emotional impact of consistent habits should not be underestimated. Repetition builds trust in the body. When older adults experience reliable improvements, even subtle ones, confidence grows. This confidence reduces fear of movement, which is a major barrier to mobility. When fear decreases, people move more naturally and freely, reinforcing muscle strength and coordination through everyday actions rather than deliberate exercise alone. Consistency transforms habits into rituals, and rituals carry psychological power. A daily ritual signals care and intention, reminding the body and mind that health is being prioritized. This sense of agency can be deeply motivating, particularly for individuals who feel that aging has taken control away from them. When health-supportive actions become part of a daily rhythm, they no longer feel like chores but like natural parts of life. Over time, consistent habits create momentum. Small improvements accumulate, leading to larger changes in strength, balance, and endurance. What begins as a simple daily practice can evolve into a noticeable shift in how the body moves and responds. Walking becomes smoother, standing feels steadier, and fatigue decreases. These changes reinforce the desire to continue the habit, creating a positive feedback loop that supports long-term vitality. True restoration of mobility and confidence does not come from isolated efforts. It comes from honoring the body's need for steady, predictable support. When simple daily habits are practiced consistently, they reshape the internal environment, allowing muscles, nerves, and joints to function together more effectively. This integration is the foundation of lasting balance and strength, enabling older adults to move through their days with greater ease, assurance, and independence rather than uncertainty or fear.